We are living in a time where personal finance information is becoming more transparent. And I'm not sure about you, but I personally find it very helpful to see how other people budget. I did a similar video last year in April 2022, and you guys seem to really enjoy it. So this video is an updated version for year 2023 budget. Now, before we get into the details, there are a few things that I would like you to bear in mind. And the first one is that these numbers, both income and expenses, are rough numbers. They're not exact amounts, especially on the income, because I am actually earning more than I am mentioning in this video, but just a rough estimate, and they're not really exact numbers. And secondly, I understand that we all have different priorities. I did mention this in the last video as well, and I am mentioning this again because I don't want people to watch my video and feel bad about how their budget looks like, because we both have different priorities. So how we budget and how much we budget into each categories are going to be different. But before we look at the budget, let's look at tax and how much tax I pay, because obviously we all need to pay tax, and what we earn in gross salary is going to be different from our take-home pay. As you may know, I am full-time employed, and therefore I have a salary income, and that income is being taxed normally when I get paid, and the tax is shown on the pay slip. I have Airbnb income, which I will include in this budget, and for my Airbnb income there is no tax. And I also have other 6 sources of income, which I am not going to include them in this video because I manage them separately, and whatever pay I get from them, because most of the time they are related to my social media presence, social media activities, so they get reinvested into the business. Now, I am based in the UK, and here's the current tax bracket at the time of filming this video, which is at the beginning of March 2023. Now, mind you, in a month this tax bracket is going to change, but what this current tax bracket means is that if you're earning anything below £12,570 a year, then you don't have to pay any tax on your income. If your total earnings is between £12,571 up to £50,270 a year, that means that this range of income is going to subject to 20% basic tax rate. If you're earning more than £50,270 a year, well, first of all, well done. But any amount after that, up to £150,000, is subject to a higher tax rate of 40%, and anything above £150,000 is subject to additional tax rate of 45%. So that is the current tax bracket, and since I'm earning around roughly £62,000 a year, that means that I get £12,570 personal allowance. Some of my income are going to be subject to 20% tax rate, and some of my income is going to be subject to 40% tax rate. But overall, for my salary income, the total tax that I am currently paying is averaging around 25%. Now that we get that out of the way, now let's look at the budget. So in total after tax, I am earning roughly, the actual number is higher than this, but roughly around £3,800, and that is consisted of my salary income and my Airbnb spare room rental income. And I am using my own personal budgeting and expense tracker. Now, I love this template so much. I used to use another app to track my expenses, but I just find this template is just so much better. It gives me a better view of where my money is going and how much I am actually saving. And if you like this look of this template as well, you can follow the link in the description to my website to get the template. So I will be walking you through my March, April, May and June budget. As for January and February, those numbers are actual numbers. Of course, I'm going to start with fixed expenses, those that needs to go out either way. So mortgage is £800. We used to be on 2.1% mortgage rate when we first bought this house, and the monthly mortgage was around $1,350 a month. But now we are on 3.5% interest rate, and the total mortgage is £1,600 roughly per month, and that, when split between me and my husband, is £800 for me monthly. Next is council tax. Now there is a slight increase in terms of council tax comparing to year 2022, but I think it's only like 3 or 4% increase. It's not major. Now next one is water and electric. My water bill is fixed every single month, so there's no change there. Now electric, this is something that I am surprised the most, because last year we were actually paying the exact same amount, out. And with what has been going on with gas and electric prices going up, I was expecting my electric bills to be going up in the month of January and February, but as you can see, surprisingly, January and February electric bills hasn't gone up comparing to last year. And I think the reason being because we are still getting help from the government, and most likely also because I live in a property that is still fairly new. I think the house is around 30 or 35 years, so the house is probably a lot more insulated comparing to other old houses, and those ones are probably the homes or the households that are going to suffer more in terms of an increase in energy bill. And for that reason, I am budgeting £115 a month for the month of March, April, May and June. In terms of phone bill, my phone bill has actually decreased, and I am now on a monthly rolling SIM only contract. So per month it is costing me £15 per month, and I am just so happy with that because it cost me like £60 a month before last year. Now, next budget category is family. Since December, I've been sending money to my family, basically to help out my granddad. I'm not going to go into detail about that. So that's £100 a month. Next is home insurance and maintenance. Now, my home insurance is around £32, I think, or £35 a month. And in January, we actually did spend a little bit of money on sort of like decorating the house, buying new bits and bobs. So the actual spend for January was quite high. However, in the month of March and April and May, I don't really see myself spending much on home maintenance at all. So I am just budgeting the bare minimum just to cover the home insurance. TV and internet, I'm budgeting £40 a month for it. Cleaning, we have a cleaner that comes in every Sunday, and between me and my husband, the total cost is around £150 a month. Now, some people may think this is excessive, like, why do you need a cleaner? Why can't you clean your home yourself? And I totally agree. I could clean my home myself. However, with everything that I have going on, she actually frees up 2.5 hours of my time every single week. So in total, she frees up like 10 hours of my time every month. That 10 hours, I can do a lot. So for me, it's kind of worth the money. Groceries, yeah, we kind of like to eat well. So every week is around £80, and sometimes we'll get bits and bobs during the week. So I would say £400 each month. I mean, as you can see, in January, we spent £270 on grocery, February £255. So I am budgeting £150 for grocery in the month of March, April, May and June. Lunch and takeaways, I don't really go into the office that much anymore, so I'm budgeting £30 for the month of March in terms of lunch out and a little bit on takeaway as well. But currently with my job, I am in the process of hiring a junior level position to help me out, and I know that person is most likely going to be able to start in the month of April, hence why I am budgeting a little bit more on lunch in April, because in April I probably have to go into the office to do more training. So I'm budgeting £60 for lunch and takeaways in April, and for May I probably can reduce the time that I go into the office, so I'm budgeting a little bit less. Now, eat and drink out, I am budgeting £45 for the month of March this month, and next month April is my birthday month, so that's normally quite expensive comparing to other months, so I'm budgeting £120, and then after that everything should kind of go back to normal. Now, you will notice my budgeted spending for the month of March up until June is really low comparing to my actual spending in the month of January and February. And the reason being because I really need to ramp up my saving, and for a good reason, and I will tell you why at the end of the video. Health and fitness, I am with Nutfield, and that is a fixed expenses of £62 every single month. So again, because I am not going into the office that much anymore, so in March I am actually only budgeting £20 for transport, and in April I probably have to go into the office more to train a new starters. I am not planning to buy any clothing in the next few months just because I feel like I have enough already. Now, holidays, I don't really have any holidays planned for the next couple of months. The next holiday will be at the end of the year, which is the time that I am going back to Thailand, so I will start saving for holiday a couple of months before I go. Now, the next category is Drizzle, which is my pet. I spend quite a fair bit of money on him. Now, if you're curious how much a pet or a dog costs, monthly, so his insurance is around £35 and his food alone is around £90. And then we get him a dog walker to walk him just once a week so that he can socialize with other dogs, and that's £15 a week. So he costs us a fair bit, but we don't have any children, so in a way he's only other living obligation that we have to pay for. Next, beauty and grooming. I did spend quite a lot of money on beauty in the month of January because I got my hair colored. In terms of my makeup, I don't really buy new makeup. I use whatever I have until they're gone. I'll be planning to spend more money in beauty again in June because that's when I probably need my hair redone again. Now next is gifts and donation. I donate monthly to an organization called Soy Dog Foundation, and what they do is they rescue dogs and cats. They're based in Thailand, where there is no law and regulations against animal cruelty, so hence why I donate my money to them, because I really believe in what they're doing. Next, hobbies and self-development. So I budget around £27 a month on this self-development because, you know, knowledge is a key and I like to learn, so I want to continue to keep learning. And obviously it's not free, it comes with a cost. Next, software subscriptions. I actually got a little note right here. So monthly we pay for Amazon Prime, Spotify and Apple. So the total is around £30 between the two of us. Medical, in February, as you can see, I spent a lot on medical, £500, and it's because I had to go to see emergency dentist. I had to get a root canal done and that wasn't cheap. So now, as you can see, for the month of March, I am earning £3,800, but my expenses is actually £1,900, so I have £1,800 to spare. And as you can see, that is quite a big number. It is contributing to 50% saving rates and 45% saving rate in April, 48% saving rate in May and 38% saving rate in June. I mean, these are really high numbers, and the reason being is because I nearly depleted my emergency fund. Now what happened was, a couple of weeks ago, my husband went for a business trip in the US and he got into an accident, and we had to use money from our emergency fund to cover some of the expenses that incurred there. So I am really thankful that, you know, we have decided to save up for emergency funds. And if you're watching this video and you're thinking maybe emergency fund is not necessary, you'd rather put all your money in investments, I'll tell you that it is necessary, because you never know when you are going to have emergency. And this brings me to the reason why I am saving very heavily in the month of March until June, and that is because I need to top up my emergency fund. Future investment capital, I have this budgeted for. This is basically a pot of money where if in the future me and my husband we want to invest in something, we have this investment capital. And I also budget £500 every single month to go to index funds. That's sort of like a fixed amount. I don't really think about it. So in the next couple of months, if I hit all my saving goals, that means that I'll be able to save 40% of my total income. And to be honest, I am actually quite happy with that. If you compare my 2023 budget to my budget last year, you see that my monthly expenses barely change, but my income has certainly increased. And this is a really important factor because this has allowed me to save more and allow me to live below my means. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you want to share how much your budget for each categories, especially on those big ones like mortgage, home or food, groceries, things like that, do let me know in the comments. I like to compare my budget with other people as well, just to gauge a sense of how much people are spending on which category. And hey, if you want to share me how much your saving rate is, and if you're saving more than me, then let me know in the comments. I look forward to hear from you and we can have a little discussion there in the comments section. Again, if you like my template that I am currently using, you can go get it on my website. I'll leave the link in the description. Now do take care of yourself. I will see you in the next video. Bye.